One former Star Wars filmmaker has posited a prophecy, as he put it, that George Lucas will be making an epic return to Star Wars. 'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side. Hi everyone, my name is Jacob Berry. Welcome to the StudioJake vidcast where I talk about all things pop culture. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Ring that little bell if you'd like to support the channel. Check out my locals page. The link is in the description. Now, this could be true, some of it. But in all seriousness, it seems like one former George Lucas ally, I say former as in they're not really collaborating as much anymore, not that they're no longer allies, but one of them is saying that George Lucas could be returning to Star Wars, at least in the capacity of developing a TV series or miniseries. Now, there have long been rumors between those of Kathleen Kennedy being fired that also George Lucas was returning. There's even one rumor that there is a Lucas cut of The Rise of Skywalker that did way better in test audiences than the theatrical cut or even the original cut that J.J. Abrams had originally made. I don't know if those rumors are true. I hope that the George Lucas cut of The Rise of Skywalker is true, but I don't know that it is. Neither here nor there. But one of the things that I had said when George Lucas surprisingly threw his weight, his clout behind Bob Iger in the proxy war against Nelson Peltz was I think that Disney offered him something. Now, I don't know if that's true because this person does not go into that sort of detail. That was just me sort of guessing. It could be true if this was the case. So I'm going to read you from that Park Place and their writer, John Trent. This is who is reporting on this. Former Star Wars assistant director and second unit director Roger Christian, who, by the way, is also the guy who invented the lightsaber, physically, I mean, claims that George Lucas is returning to Star Wars and will be involved in a new live action series. Christian, who won an Academy Award for the original Star Wars film for Best Production Design, revealed in a recent interview with Star Wars Theory that which is a YouTube channel, that George Lucas is returning to Lucasfilm to work on a new live action series. Christian stated, I think he's coming back. I'm pretty sure now that he's doing a series. I think that they're bringing him into the fold from what I hear because there's a Star Wars live action series coming, and I've got a strong suspicion that George will have something to do with that. That's what I'm thinking, and I might be prophesying. That's what I heard and read, he continued. And I don't know from anything apart from what I'm prophesizing that might happen because you've seen he's been very physically present there. He's been on the sets and everything. So I want you to go to thatparkplace.com and read the full article for yourself. It goes into more detail about the proxy fight between Iger and Peltz in this article, as well as talks about George Lucas's role in making sure that Bob Iger maintained his reign and that Nelson Peltz did not get a seat on the Disney board. So head over there and read it. But on this topic of is George Lucas is returning. Here's the thing. And Yellow Flash actually said this as well. I agree with Yellow Flash, which is why I'm bringing this up. I think that I would be excited for this one series, but Disney has done so much brand damage to Star Wars that I don't think it would win me back to Disney. For one thing, it would have to be apart from what Disney set up. Unless George Lucas went all in returning Luke Skywalker to his former glory, where, he's not Jake Skywalker, who, as Mark Hamill himself put it, ended himself on an overdose of the Force. If it was something where George Lucas was returning and it would be like his own thing that was completely set apart from the Disney sequels, the Disney shows, anything like that, I might be able to get on board with that project specifically, but I could not get on board with Disney Star Wars ever again. They've just done too much damage. As long as Kathleen Kennedy, who has lost billions of dollars for Disney through her mismanagement of Star Wars, is there, I don't think I'm going to come back. I just don't see it. They would have to fire her and bring on someone that I really trust. And it's quite frankly, 5 years ago, if you had said it was Dave Filoni, who was the creator of the Star Wars Clone Wars, he also did the Ahsoka series. If he was to, even if it was him, I would be excited, but he has just bought into Kathleen Kennedy's, we have to make Star Wars woke, we have to make it for a modern audience, which doesn't exist, obviously. Otherwise, these movies would at least be breaking even, but they're not. They're losing money, they're losing subscribers to Disney Plus. Bluey has brought, which isn't even a Disney property, they're just bringing it to America from an Australian company, is bringing in more to Disney Plus than Star Wars and Marvel. That isn't that shocking? It seems like there's even rumors. Now, I don't know if this rumor is true, by the way. This is just what I'm hearing, is that once Jon Favreau is done with the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, that he's also departing. So I just don't see Star Wars ever recovering. There was a civil war going on with Disney between the Lucas loyalist and the Kathleen Kennedy faction. And the Kathleen Kennedy faction won because they bribed Dave Filoni to move over to her side. And because of that, that just was an epic blow. And then now with Lucas throwing his weight behind Bob Iger against Nelson Peltz, who wanted to come in and make Disney, more profitable again, make it more about Imagineering and not just about pushing out project after project after project, making it more about quality over quantity. That also was a blow. And I was stunned by George Lucas's move, because there were rumors forever that he was going to side with Peltz because he was still bitter at Bob Iger and Kathleen Kennedy stabbing him in the back. But this could be a sign that they did in fact offer him something, which is what I speculated. I speculated that they either offered him to return, or that they were going to let him make the trilogy sequels that he wanted to make. And maybe that will come in the form of this TV show. It'll be, they'll just say it's only canon to the prequels and the original trilogy, and Disney Star Wars is its own thing. After all, don't forget, George Lucas was the mastermind behind what they called the holocron. So for those of you unfamiliar, the holocron is sometimes it's a square. It kind of looks like a Rubik's cube, and each side had a different thing. So side A was the prequels, the original trilogy, and the radio plays, and then side B was the expanded universe. So the books, the novels, the TV shows. Then side C was the comic books. Side D was the video games, because the video games were kind of allowed to break canon a little bit just for the sake of being a video game. And then also some other things as well. And when Disney came along, they just destroyed all of side B and side C, and they just decided everything is canon, all the comic books, everything that we do is now connected, and they destroyed that. So it is possible that George Lucas could come along and say, hey, my series is just connected to the 6 films that I was a part of, that I worked on, maybe even the animated film Star Wars Clone Wars. I don't know, whatever the case might be. He may come along and say that, and he will do his trilogy, the one he planned to do, as a TV show. And so we can see Luke Skywalker return with his apprentice, whoever it was going to be in those films, that we were going to get a more epic thing. And maybe he'll collaborate with directors like Ron Howard, give him a chance to do a whole Star Wars film, not one that had started production and he got shoved in the middle of it, or Colin Trevorrow or someone like that, that he can partner with them to help him bring this TV show to life. Or maybe this is all just a rumor. That could be true. We've been burned so many times as Star Wars fans. We are all probably going, ugh, every time we hear something like this. And now I'm speaking for myself, but I would guess that other fans feel the same way. 'Cause I've been living life